So, hi guys, welcome back to this week's Footy Friday podcast. And in this week's episode, we are going to again talk about the weekend's results. Go through them, see what we think, just general thoughts about the weekend football in the Premier League. Maybe look towards the weekend's games, because I know there's FA Cup and still Premier League are going on. And then towards the end, we are going to pick our North versus South Premier League teams. And then at the end, we will try and combine them and create an All-Stars team. So, let's...
All-Star team.
Yeah, team.
Team. Extra E's.
Yeah, exactly. So let's have a look at Friday. Was it Friday? Yes, it was Friday.
Yes,
First
it was.
game.
Wolves Fulham.
Not much to add, other than
Adama Traore.
I was going to say other than Adama Traore getting his first goal of all season
or assist. He hasn't got an assist this season.
Yeah,
really worth that 50 million or whatever the price tag was last season, wasn't it?
Yeah. Nelson Semedo had a good game.
Yeah, he's adapted. I think we spoke about him last week or the week before, about how he's adapted well to the Premier League, despite the lack of promising start. I think he's looked a lot more comfortable now.
Oh yeah, I think so too. Mm-hmm. Again, like we touched on, there wasn't much to go off, because not much really happened.
No.
Again, Fulham. I know it was against Wolves, and I know Wolves haven't been exactly where they were last season, but it's not looking promising at the moment for Fulham.
No, I was going to say that's the game that, based off of other results, I know they played the early game, but in hindsight, that was the game that they needed to get points in.
Yeah, because
based off of how the other teams did.
Well, being the next two games are Arsenal and Chelsea.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that it's Burnley. So Burnley so the next match is upcoming: Arsenal versus Fulham, Chelsea versus Fulham, Fulham versus Burnley, Southampton versus Fulham, United versus Fulham, and Fulham versus Newcastle.
Yeah, it's not the best.
It's not the best running.
No.
So it could be an interesting one. It could in potentially come down to the last game.
I hope it does. It'd be brilliant if it did.
Yeah, especially if it was between Fulham and Newcastle.
Yeah, that'd be brilliant.
Yeah, because then we would actually see some football.
Yeah, they'd be playing out of their skin.
Yeah. Like I said, it's just at the moment it's with that game, it just seems a bit slim for Fulham at the moment. However, I do want them to stay up, because I think they provide they're a lot easier to watch than Newcastle.
Definitely, they offer a lot more, and I think it's mostly because of their start. That's so horrendous. If they'd have played as consistently as they have recently from the start, they'd probably be looking at maybe 15th, 14th.
Yeah,
that sort of area.
They'd be like the bottom of the middle table, really, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
So yeah, and I think it'd be a tough one, but let's hope it comes down to the wire.
Okay.
Then you've got, moving on to the Saturday games, you had the City versus Leeds in the early game. Mm-hmm. This was the shock result of the weekend, really.
100%. And as well with Leeds having 10 men. Like, you would have thought if City would have had 10 men, you thought, maybe fair enough. But yeah, with Liam Cooper, that was a horrendous tackle. And I know they were complaining about it, but you couldn't.
No.
But yeah, I mean, Leeds have the ability to do that. They need a bit more stability in the Premier League over the next couple of seasons, but I could definitely see them being a top, 7, 8 place team.
Yeah, push it. Not necessarily maybe not necessarily challenge for Europe every season, but being
No.
in the talks of it.
Yeah. Being within like 3 or 4 teams that might push for it the next year.
Yeah,
They definitely need more Premier League quality because I mean Bamford, Rafinha, and a couple of other players are carrying the team quite a lot. There's a couple
yeah,
of players that are a little bit dead weight in that team, but they work well. But they need a bit more firepower in that team because the attack is good. The midfield's a little bit lackluster. I think, if anywhere, the midfield's probably where they should boost a little bit.
yeah.
But other than that, I think they've got a solid defence and the keepers, are promising, so that's good enough. But
Yeah,
yeah, I didn't expect that.
well, especially with how City have been performing recently. Well,
Yeah,
all
exactly.
season, really.
Mm-hmm.
But not that it makes much difference to the title race.
I mean, you say that, but United, if they win their next game, 8 points behind, and
Well,
then there's 6 games left.
if they, I think I saw it. If United win every single game from now on, and City drop points, it is still possible.
Yeah, I haven't lost hope. 21's coming back.
But I know you say that 21's coming back, but I just think that even with this slight hiccup, I just think the City have. Let's have a look. I think City have got it only because the next few games. Wednesday they play Wednesday 21st. They play Villa away. The 1st of May they're playing Palace away, and then the week after is Chelsea. Then the week after that is Newcastle. Then Brighton. Then Everton.
What City's games?
Yeah, in the league.
Yeah, but they're not the easiest games. 3 or 4 of them they could slip up on. Everton they could slip up on. Palace I think they could even slip up on. And what was the game next week? Aston Villa they could potentially, and Chelsea. Maybe I'm not saying they will slip up, but there's a possibility. I think teams like Burnley and Brighton, they're pretty much guaranteed the points there. But Villa, Everton, Chelsea, they're all pushing for the top half. Well, Villa are. So I wouldn't be surprised if they draw, maybe draw against Chelsea, maybe Villa. It's more wishful thinking than anything. Because I never thought, 10 games ago, Man United would challenge for the title with City this season because they seem so far ahead. But now they're dropping the occasional game points and United are catching. So fingers crossed, but it doesn't look too likely at the minute.
One team that was ruled out of the title race I think it was last week, was Liverpool.
Good news.
Beating Aston Villa 2-1. Again,
due to a late goal.
Apart from Trent Alexander-Arnold, I didn't really, Liverpool had a decent game, but it wasn't. Again, like we said several times over the course of this season, it was nowhere near a Liverpool performance as we've seen.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's this season's been a crazy season, but it's just been they had to rely on the right back Alexander-Arnold to dig him out of trouble.
Well, they haven't. They rarely dominate games this season. We've spoken about Liverpool today. Yeah. I think they need something new. I know that. What is it? Wasn't there rumours like Klopp was going to go to Bayern Munich or something? Was that rumour?
Yeah, because
Flick's going to Germany national team.
I was going to say, yeah.
So I think he's been linked with Bayern Munich. So
yeah,
who would they get? Like, who would be another manager that would fit Liverpool so perfectly?
Well, it's not only that; it's who's available.
Well, yeah, that too. Because you look at it, and you can't. Even the managers that are available, Klopp seems to fit Liverpool so perfectly because he fits their philosophy and what they aim to do perfectly. Obviously, eventually he's going to have to leave.
Well, yeah, because either it gets too stale for him, or he'll get a chance. Yeah, or he'll get a chance.
Eventually, I know that's ages away.
Or he'll get a chance like for example, Bayern Munich, that he'll never be able to get again.
I think Bayern Munich at the moment, I know they just got knocked out of the Champions League, but I think at the moment that's probably the most. Even if you don't win the Champions League, you're almost guaranteed the league, and you're going to win. Is it DFB Pokals and things like that?
Yeah,
you're going to win
stuff like pretty much.
Yeah, you could go there and say in 2 years you're probably guaranteed to win at least one thing in 2 years.
Yeah.
So and in the Premier League you're never guaranteed. Even City aren't guaranteed to win anything. Well, I know they do well, but they don't. They're never guaranteed.
Well, no, because it's like, well, it's, I think Pep realised. I know this is quite a while ago now, but when Pep first came to England, and he played in the FA Cup against Wigan, and I think he took it for granted. I think he took it for granted exactly what it means to him, to everyone.
Yeah, exactly.
And he gets knocked out in the third round.
I will agree.
Yeah.
Legend. But yeah, I think in the foreign countries, I think in Germany and Spain, the smaller competitions don't mean. I know, like in England, they've lost their importance, but lower league teams definitely still care about it. Whereas I suppose it's still the same for other countries, but I suppose when you've been at the top for so long, like Pep has, they mean very little. Hence why Klopp has had that sort of arrogant attitude towards cups when he plays his youth teams and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It annoys me when they do stuff like that, because I just think you need to take every game seriously. And even though you think you can win with the youth team, it's still very arrogant, and I don't like it. I know it's up to it's their discretion, but it just looks arrogant, and like he does, like people, not just Klopp, but other people don't care about the competition.
Yeah, and I've said several times, especially with the FA Cup, the one thing they always complain about is the replays. But if you play your good team and get through the round, you don't have to play the replay.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, don't complain about playing too many games and replays. Good job. Play a good solid side. Put out a good solid side, and then you'll win the first game and you won't have to play the second. Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just what it is. Like you said, Liverpool, they've not necessarily come to a halt, but they've started to slow down a bit suddenly.
What do you think they'll be like for next season?
Depending on what transfers to get in, because obviously I know this is probably.
Yeah, but where would they improve? That's the problem with other teams like Arsenal, Tottenham. You can see flaws in their team.
Yeah.
But with Liverpool, they've got a strong side, so it's just weird that they're just not doing well.
I think it's the cover, the backups. Because if you look at City, for example, let's take the left back for example. You got Benjamin Mendy, and then you got Zinchenko. Zinchenko's proven himself to be a solid cover left back.
Yeah, but that's through no fault. That's through no fault but Klopp's. He had that transfer window. He chose to buy, 2 centre backs. One who we've spoken about before, who is yet to play for him, who was from Championship, and the other one who was at a really struggling Schalke side. You can't say, it's because of their lack of depth in the team or whatever, or their replacements aren't good enough. That's Klopp's fault.
Yeah.
Why would he suddenly change that in the new year? Next season, because presumably 3 of his first team centre backs are going to be back.
Yeah.
What does he change? He's got a solid midfield and he's got a solid attack. Unless they sell someone.
Well, I think
who does he buy? Like,
I don't know exactly what the situation is, but as far as I'm aware, Wijnaldum's not signing a new contract at Liverpool.
Yeah, I heard he might be moving to Barcelona.
So, that getting someone in to cover him, or to replace him.
I know Camavinga has been of interest. I read today.
But he'll be like
150.
Yeah, he'll be quite a lot of money. Might not be 150, but it'll be close to it.
It'll definitely be over 100.
Yeah,
depending on if he has a release clause. Well,
yeah, one player I could possibly see them going for. I don't know if you've heard of him, Ryan Gravenberch or Gravenberch, whoever he's called.
Yeah, Borussia Mönchengladbach.
No, he's at Ajax.
Never mind.
More because he looks a similar player to Wijnaldum,
Right.
and being young, I think he's not even 20. I think he's like 19, maybe.
Okay. Oh, damn! Dortmund are 1-0 up.
Oh yeah, I forgot to say before we started, we are recording this on a Wednesday night when the Champions League is going on. So if you do,
Jude Bellingham. Jude Bellingham gets the goal, the one he was denied in the first game.
So yeah, if you do see it, we will keep you up to date with the scores. I know it's going to go out before then, but never mind. After then, just say.
Yeah.
Yeah,
if you're like 3 days late on the scores.
Yeah, no, this is the guy I was talking about, Ryan Gravenberch.
Right. I recognise the name, but I've never seen him play.
Yeah, he plays for Ajax. He's 18 years old. He plays centre mid, centre defensive mid. He's had consistent, like, I'm looking here. Last game he had a 7.3. Europa League he had a 7.4. The game before that 8.1. In the Netherlands games 7.2. He's averaging at like high sevens for rating.
But it's quite a big risk, especially with the season they've had, to go from a 30-year-old who's got bags of experience to, how old is he?
18.
18-year-old, and putting him straight in the first team. Because if they take out Wijnaldum now, who do they put in? Naby Keita. And Naby Keita ain't the signing they thought it would be.
No. But then I'm thinking they're going to look for, the future.
Yeah, but I don't think Liverpool do that. I think Liverpool get assured talents that don't cost a heap.
Yeah, they'll just get someone in for the here and now.
Yeah, for the next 2 seasons, 3 seasons, and it's going to be pretty hard to mess up in that Liverpool side.
Yeah.
So you could bring in quite a few players, and they do the job. You could probably look in the Premier League and get a handful of players that would do a good job.
Yeah, this, like you said, it's just trying to find the right person. One player that I could see them probably getting, just because, from past being linked with him, would be Milinkovic-Savic.
But again, he's not exactly young. It's not exactly like they're replacing him with youth.
He's 26.
That makes, But I know that Man United have been linked with him as well. I don't know how likely that is because I know United have been linked with Declan Rice and things as well.
Well,
potentially Milinkovic-Savic would make more sense.
What about Brozovic? Because I know Brozovic has been linked with quite a few people. He's 28.
Well, I'd say Milinkovic-Savic makes sense, but again, the price tag that comes with him, you're probably looking at probably more in that price range, more 50, 60 million, I'd say.
Yeah. Yeah.
But he'll probably leave, Milinkovic-Savic will probably leave this year, if not next, because he's been linked with, top clubs. I know Lazio are good, but top clubs for a good 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
So it's only a matter of time before he does leave.
Yeah, it is. So moving on to the game at the last game on the Saturday, Chelsea versus Palace. Chelsea winning at 4-1.
Mm-hmm.
It was all over by half time pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
3 goals to good. Havertz played really well. I think that's probably the best Premier League performance he's had in a while, if not
Yeah.
ever. Again, Pulisic coming back into the team, making an instant impact. Just all around, Chelsea played a much better team than against West Brom last time out. Obviously,
it was sort of as expected. I expected Chelsea to be able to do. That's exactly what they did. So,
yeah, there's not much. Like with the Wolves game, there's not much to talk about because it was always going to go that way. Well, looking on to Sunday, battle. This is more a battle for towards the bottom of the table. Burnley versus Newcastle. Newcastle beating Burnley 2-1. All thanks to one man, Alan St-Maximin.
Yeah, he showed his class. Showed how many games has he been back for? Because I know he's not been back for long. Has he?
I think he's only been back for like 2. Maybe,
I was going to say.
I think he's only been like his second.
Yeah, he's definitely the best player in that squad. If they could somehow manage to get him and Callum Wilson working together up front, I know Callum Wilson's injured, but if they could somehow make him a striker, I think they'd be laughing. It'd be unbelievable.
Yeah, he's only been back for 2 games.
He got the assist and the goal as well, didn't
he? Yeah.
Yeah, I think if you're able to fit him in the squad in attack with Callum Wilson, you're laughing. I think that's a good. Between them, you're probably looking at least 25 goals in the season, plus probably a good 12 assists. So there's a good 35 to 40 goal contributions from them two, probably.
Yeah, and then when you've got the likes of, I know Almiron's not necessarily pulled his weight recently and
that's a good
but then,
5, 6, 7, 8.
But then when they start firing, he'll start firing. Then it's only a matter of time before Joe Linton gets in on it.
Mm-hmm. They've got a lot of potential, but they don't really seem to have a plan. They're just using players from all over, and it's not the best.
Yeah, I know Mike Ashley stuck by through Steve Bruce, but I just don't think Steve Bruce is a man to take Newcastle any further forward than a relegation battle.
No, exactly. I think that's what he's taken the teams to before. That's all he can really do.
And like we said, we were talking more. Like we mentioned Liverpool before, but if they did get rid of Brucey, there's not many people to go and get.
Not at all. You'd think maybe Eddie Howe, but I know he's in contention for the Celtic job.
Yeah.
So again, it's
it's a tough one because like at the moment, a lot of managers who are out of jobs are being linked with other higher profile jobs, really. Because if it were me and I was a manager, I would 100% rather go to Celtic than Newcastle.
Well, yeah, again, it's like you're almost guaranteed one trophy at least every couple of years.
Yeah.
So, yeah, why wouldn't you?
It's what it is, though, and I think it's only a matter of time before they actually see Mike Ashley actually... Well, I don't think Mike Ashley will ever see sense, really, but unfortunately for Newcastle fans, it is what it is. They just have to...
Oh, man. Real Madrid are playing Valverde at right back today.
That's interesting.
I know when they played Liverpool last, they played Vasquez at right back.
Yeah, but he's a right winger, so it's not too bad.
Yeah, it's mad to play a centre mid at right back. But sorry, I just had to say.
Yeah, it's fine. Let's wait. Moving on to the West Ham game, winning 3-2.
Good game, I watched that.
It was a very good game. Lingard getting 2 goals and setting
almost came back through Iheanacho.
Yeah, almost.
Just Leicester left it too late. If they were able to get one sort of early second half, you'd have been, just after Bowen had scored, potentially they might have been able to do something. But West Ham are just on fire. Lingard just making everyone around him play unbelievably.
Yeah, and when you've got
perfect fit they needed.
Yeah, when you've got someone on form like Lingard, it just it just lifts everyone and lift everyone else is then thinking, well, let's all play let's kind of all play like this.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you've always got people around you.
Mm-hmm.
But if you think about it, if the games carry on going and carry on going to go, and the fact that if the games carry on going the way they are and the West Ham carry on the way they are, we could end up seeing West Ham in the Champions League.
Well, I don't think that's too far to assume. I think other than potentially Chelsea and Liverpool, I don't see any other team really challenging from. I know there's Tottenham and everything, but I don't see Tottenham doing better than Liverpool or Chelsea. So they're pretty much out of the challenge. So I think West Ham have pretty much got to try and fight off Chelsea and Liverpool. And if we look at West Ham's next few games, they've got Newcastle, Chelsea. The next game's Newcastle. That should be a good. They should be able to win that, but depending on St. Maxim and sort of how he's managing to do for next week. But they should go in that with heaps of confidence. Then they've got Chelsea, which again, if they manage to get a victory there, that just puts even more space in between them. Then Burnley, West Ham, Brighton, West Brom and Southampton. So the only real struggle that they're going to probably have is Chelsea and Everton, maybe Burnley. But teams like Newcastle, Brighton, West Brom and Southampton, they should all really be winning quite comfortably. So you'd say there's a good 4 wins there, which puts pressure on Chelsea, really, because I don't think Liverpool are going to be able to do it. So it puts a lot of pressure on Chelsea to win sort of 5 of their last 7 games, really.
Yeah, and then you look at Leicester. Well, obviously fourth will end up being a qualifying spot. I think it is anyway, isn't it? Because it's not. I didn't think it was straight in though.
Yeah, isn't it?
I can't remember because stuff's changed a lot. Stuff's changed. I see. It might be. I might be wrong. Because I just thought it was. I thought it was a qualification spot, not not a shoe-in.
Mm-hmm. I thought it was, but I might just be going off what it used to be rather than what it is now.
I'll have a look. No, it's a group stage. It's a group stage one. So yeah, so like you said, they've only really got to fight off Chelsea, Liverpool, and those kind of players, those kind of teams.
Yeah.
Because like you said, Tottenham seem to be focusing. They've dropped out that much. I think they'd be lucky to get Europa League.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I think the only way they can get into Europe is if they beat City in the Carabao Cup.
Yeah, and to be honest, I don't really see that happen.
Yeah, no, me neither. And then if City beat them, then they might extend the Europa League qualification.
Yeah, true.
In the league.
True.
So, but we'll see. But moving on to Tottenham. To Tottenham, losing 3-1 to United.
Quality game.
It was another good game. One thing I do want to touch on is the VAR Son McTominay incident. I want to know your thoughts.
I think it was more annoying because he let it play on. I think he probably should have stopped it straight away because I thought they had to for a head injury. I know it was to the face, but it still could have been a serious thing. And I know a lot of Man U fans are saying, "Oh, that wasn't that. It wasn't that." When I saw it, I thought, like, when they stopped it for VAR, I mean, when they'd score, I was like, well, surely he's going to bring it back. Because although I wanted it to be a goal, obviously, I just thought they can't not give that as a foul because he slapped him in the face. I know it was unintentional or whatever, but his hand was near his face. He went down. I mean, I thought it was a foul. I mean, in
Yes.
hindsight, I probably would have been more annoyed if it would have mattered.
Yeah.
Like, if it would have mattered because it didn't matter. So I guess a lot of fans are probably like, we don't really care because we won anyway. But at the time, I mean, even at the time, I thought, like, it was a foul.
Yeah, see, when I saw it, I was thinking it was a foul, but then I was also thinking along the lines of, well, Son went to reach for McTominay anyway.
Yeah.
Which is the bit you don't see, or they don't show you.
Yeah, they didn't show that bit.
You just see
exactly.
McTominay doing, moving his arm back.
Just swiping his hand back, yeah.
Yeah.
But again, like in hindsight, it didn't really matter. So
yeah,
the first half was a bit poor. They did score the goal, but obviously the McTominay thing. But then the second half, they just dominated. And I was happy for Cavani to score because it looks like he's off at the end of the season. And then Greenwood to get on the score sheet.
Yeah, to Uruguay or something. Yeah.
Boca Juniors have been linked.
All right. Yeah, well, South America either way.
Probably, yeah.
And I don't blame him. It's a perfect retire. Well, not retiring, but that kind of way.
Career. He's doing like 33 or whatever he is.
I thought he was more than that. I thought he was like 35. But he's 34.
Oh,
in
34.
Between both of us.
Yeah, there you go. Well, I think he could still do it for another 2 years. Like, he looks quality.
If you have a look at Ibrahimovic, there's talks about him. I don't know whether he's actually signed it yet, but there was talks about him extending his contract.
So he should. It doesn't. Age is just a number. Like, it doesn't matter if you can carry on doing it.
And he'll be 40 in October.
It doesn't matter if United are worried about Cavani's age or whatever. They didn't sign him for anything. I know he's probably got high wages, but they've got high wages at the club. I mean, De Gea's on their highest wages and he's not even playing at the minute.
Yeah.
So if they're concerned about that, they should be more concerned about, getting rid of De Gea than getting rid of Cavani, if the worry is about wages.
See, I don't know whether it is. I think it's just he's not happy at United. I just don't think he expect. I think it's more not necessarily at United. I think it's just England in general.
But then why come here in the first place?
I will presume that it would have been you've been sold a dream kind of thing. He thought it was going to be much better than it was. Turns out it wasn't. That kind of thing.
Yeah, but you only have to do your research to know what. I mean, he was at PSG. He could have spoken to Ibrahimovic. I'm sure he's got his contact. I'm sure Ibrahimovic is only a phone call away. Ibrahimovic was in the exact same boat. He left the same club to join United.
Yeah.
And it hasn't diminished, Ibrahimovic, when he left us, he went to LA Galaxy and almost, he didn't like mess up his career, but I know he was at United for about a year and a half, and the second season he was injured for a little bit, and then he went to Galaxy and sort of reignited his career and got the big money move again to AC Milan. So I know Boca Juniors are good. They've got Tevez.
Tevez retired, hasn't he?
Oh, maybe. I was going to say De Rossi then, and he's just retired as well, hasn't
he? Yeah.
But they've got a history of signing some older players, but it shouldn't affect him. I think he could easily do it again for another year. Ibrahimovic was older when he joined United. He was, I think, 36.
Yeah.
So it shouldn't matter. He scored 8 or 9 goals this season. He can show that he can do it.
Yeah, but again, it's down to the player. If he's not happy, he's not happy.
No, I get that. Like, I'm not gonna try and force him to stay or whatever. But I'd like him to stay because I think he's definitely a handy player and something that we don't really have at the club. And if we do get rid of him, what are we going to do for strikers? We've got Martial and Rashford doesn't even play really up front. So who else we got? That's it. We've got Martial as a striker.
Greenwood is the only other option.
Yeah, but he plays on the right.
Yeah, I was going to say that all your strikers aren't really strikers; they're wingers, really.
Every manager that we've brought in has moved all of our strikers to different positions.
Yeah,
Martial when I think
was it Van Gaal?
Van Gaal changed him to a left winger and kept Rashford up front, and then when Mourinho came, he changed it the other way around.
Yeah,
and I think Rashford's definitely better at being on the left, but Martial just isn't convincing. And I think if you get rid of Cavani, it puts the pressure back on Martial.
Well, not only that, if you get rid of Cavani, then you have to make a signing. You have to make a striker signing.
That's my point. That's my point as well. And then who do we sign? Because who is there? The big two that have been thrown around are Haaland and Kane, but are any of them likely? Like,
I could understand Haaland going, because obviously with the link with Solskjaer, the Norwegian link and things like that, and understanding him as a boy.
Yeah.
But
is there the truth in his dad thing and City and Leeds and all that?
That's the thing.
Because if that is true, he definitely wouldn't come to United.
Yeah.
And if he doesn't care or whatever, then
yeah, but it's one of those it's a hard thing, because in my head I'm thinking he's got free rein to go pretty much to any of the top clubs now and just walk in through the front door.
Pretty much.
But then it's a case of, well, who needs him and who can afford him?
Well, again, in England, you're probably looking at United and City.
Yeah, as I said, City, United. I think
maybe Chelsea.
I was going to say maybe Chelsea, because I think, remember rightly, Raiola said there's only 4 teams in England, there's only so many teams that can afford him, and 4 of them are in England. And I think it was United, City, Chelsea, and Liverpool.
Yeah, but Liverpool wouldn't go for him. I don't think Chelsea would either, because they just bought Werner. And I think it would be between City and Man United. And at the moment, if Cavani goes, I think out of the two, I think I would prefer Haaland, but I'm not going to say I don't want Kane, because he'd be absolutely ridiculous. But then, I think City would have the pick, and I feel like if it was out of those two, they'd have the pick, and then we'd get the other one.
Yeah, I think also if you chose Kane, I think Kane would have to change his style, because obviously with the way he's playing now,
I think it would work better for him. I think he could be just an in the box poacher. That's all he'd have to be. He wouldn't have to come deep. He wouldn't have to do anything. He could literally let everyone else do the work for him and just stay in the box, because he'd be brilliant at that. He could probably bag a good 25 goals if he just did that.
Well, that's what I was going to say. What I was going to say was he'll need to stop dropping back and picking up the ball himself to create the attack, because the attack will all have been created by Bruno or Rashford or Pogba, just to name the few of them.
I know that Tottenham, at the start of the season, were probably one of the best counter-attacking teams in the league, and United have shown that to be them of recently. And although he is very good at counter-attacking with him and Son and Moura and Dele Alli, and when he plays or whatever, but yeah, he doesn't really need to do it. He doesn't have to come back for corners. He doesn't have to sit really deep. He can sit sort of on the halfway line, maybe a little bit deeper, and let the other players, like you said, Rashford, Greenwood, Martial, Fernandes, McTominay, Fred, Pogba, do all the work for him. So you'd expect that he'd be, more clinical up front, because he'd have less to do at the back and have more energy to expend going forward.
Yeah.
Potentially, but you never know.
Yeah, we'll see when the transfer window opens to see exactly what goes on and what business we see.
I just hope they sign one of them, because I'll be really annoyed if they get rid of Cavani and then don't sign anyone.
Yeah, because I think obviously right now you are United are I know they're second now, but you could argue that they were going to be title contenders.
I never thought that at the start of the year, but based off now, I think next season they definitely could be, if they make the right signings. I think they're 2 signings away from really challenging for the title.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I think you need to sign a striker, obviously. Straight up to sign a striker.
Mm-hmm. Quality striker, not some youngster from a team no one's heard of. So I think Haaland or Kane, and then a quality centre-back, and you're probably one of the favourites for the league.
Yeah. I know he's old, but or older. I could see maybe them getting Koulibaly.
He's only like what 27, 8.
Yeah, I think he's 20. I think he's 28.
I know that's been in the been talked about for a while. He's 29. It's been talked about for a while, and I used to think yes, but I'm a bit more opposed to it now. I think I prefer for them to go for a younger centre back to partner Harry Maguire. I think Harry Maguire's 26, 27 now,
Yeah,
and as he gets older, I'd want a younger player so that when Harry Maguire moves on, we could have a younger player to come in for whoever.
yeah.
And I'd probably want Upamecano, or who's the one that plays for Dortmund?
Zagadou.
Zagadou, yeah. I think either of them. I think we've spoken about that before. Zagadou's left-footed, and I don't think Upamecano is. So I think Zagadou would fit the United system more. But then in terms of injuries, I think he's been out recently with a long-term injury, and this has a history of it. So it'd be a bit more challenging for United to rely on him. But I think if he was able to remain fit, he'd definitely be a good signing for United.
Yeah, and I think overall, once you make those two signings, that's when you start challenging for the title.
Mm-hmm.
One team that definitely isn't going to be challenging for any titles anytime soon, other than the Championship title, Sheffield United, losing to Arsenal 3-0.
Yep.
Again, not much to say. Arsenal played the way that Arsenal would play against the struggling Sheffield United side, as they have all season.
Mm-hmm.
It really doesn't surprise me. You see Lacazette getting two goals, Martinelli playing, getting a goal.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, not much else to add, really.
No, not at all. I think I was pretty much expecting that. Yeah, there's not much to say.
It just shows you the contrast in between two seasons in the Premier League.
100%.
Because if you look at Sheffield United being last season,
Mm-hmm.
were flying high.
Yeah,
absolutely. You could argue at times they were the best team in the best team or the best underdogs, should I say, in the league.
Last season, yeah, they were.
And now it's just a complete opposite. With Chris Wilder being, I don't know whether he resigned or sacked. You never know these days, really. It's it is what it is. I just hope that they will come back at some point and prove us wrong, like they have against this season.
Mm-hmm.
One team that could be struggling or could be looking in the same direction. West Brom. They beat Southampton 3-0.
Yeah, quite a shocking result considering Southampton's recent form has sort of picked up a little bit. But yeah, I mean, West Brom again have been playing well. It almost seems a little bit too late, but if they can carry on that form next season in the Championship, if they go down, they should have no problem coming back up and doing a lot better next season.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. As long as try and keep some of the squad. Obviously, there are going to be ones that will move on. For example, Maitland-Niles. Some of the other ones. I think is it Conor Gallagher?
Where at? The Chelsea.
Yeah,
he's on loan from Chelsea, I think.
Yeah, players like that. Those kind of like younger players will, like Mateus Pereira will be another one, maybe Grady Diangana. Just to name some of them. I think.
But yeah, it is going to be very hard to keep them if they do go down.
Yeah, because they're going to want to stay in the Premier League and fight for international places at some point.
Yeah, exactly.
And looking at Southampton, they peaked at Christmas, and then haven't really performed as well as they have done.
No.
And when you lose 9-0 again,
Yeah.
you can only do it so many times.
Yeah, that's true. It would be interesting to see how they go the next season.
Yeah, their only hope now is, getting something from the FA Cup at the weekend.
Yeah.
And then moving on to the last game of the weekend, being the most boring game of all, a 0-0 between Brighton and Everton.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much to say about it, is there really?
No, like we said several times with other ones, there's not much to say. Nothing really happened. They both played the way they were going to play. It was a bit, not necessarily a shock, but the fact that Everton matched matched Brighton in their formation.
Mm-hmm.
But that was probably about it because nothing else really happened in the game. Obviously, it being 0-0.
Mm-hmm.
So let's have a quick look at the weekend's games. So we'll start on Friday.
Yeah.
Everton versus Tottenham.
Are we just going quick fire?
Quick fire and then a quick little round. We'll do like a quick little roundup, not necessarily just scores.
Okay.
It's going to be a tough one, I think, a close one.
Mm-hmm.
Because of the form of both recently. But I think Everton win it 1-0.
I was going to say 1-1. I don't think it'll be a very high-scoring game. I think both teams will be reluctant to go forward too much.
Yeah,
so I think it will be 1-1.
Moving on to Saturday, Newcastle versus West Ham. West Ham to win 3-1. I think Newcastle will get. I think Newcastle will get a goal because it's Saint-Maximin, right. But I think it will only be one.
I think it'll be hard for Saint-Maximin, especially if he does play and does start, to really do much against that West Ham defence because I think they'll just isolate him. I think they'll just sort of shut him off the ball, and if he can't do anything, then a lot of their star power is gone. And I think if he can't do anything, a lot of the other players will just think, well, what's the point? And then I think players like Lingard will just have fun with it and just run at the defence because Newcastle's midfield is terrible.
Yeah, I can see. Yeah, but either way, it's going to be a West Ham win, obviously. Moving on to the last Premier League game on a Saturday, Wolves versus Sheffield United. Wolves to win 2-0, maybe even 3-0.
I think 1-1.
The only reason why I think of a Wolves win is it's against Sheffield United. I think they'll aim to use this as not necessarily a building block, but to start gaining a little bit of momentum towards the end, so they can start the season off on a high. End the season on a high to then kick off next season.
Mm-hmm. Well, I thought it would be a draw because looking at Wolves' form, their last 5 games have only won once, and that's the same with Sheffield. I don't think they're very promising. Last season, they showed quality, but like Sheffield United, they've been a bit more exposed this season.
With key injuries out, obviously, as well, it hasn't helped them.
No, definitely not, but they don't particularly look very promising.
No.
So I think a draw is fair there.
Then on Saturday you have the first of the FA Cup semi-finals, Chelsea versus City.
Yeah, I think City have probably got that one, to be honest.
See, I think it could be a close one, but I think it will be a City win. I think it'll be 2-1.
I'll say 2-0.
Because because I think Chelsea will obviously they'll still put up a big fight, but I just don't think I think it won't be enough. I think it will be enough.
Mm-hmm.
Then on Sunday, the Premier League games, you've got Arsenal versus Fulham. Arsenal to win, maybe even a draw. I think.
I was going to think. I think it will. I think Fulham will struggle the last few games. I was pretty confident Newcastle might go down, but I think Fulham the last games are quite challenging. I think Arsenal are coming into this in quite good form, so I'll say 2-0 to Arsenal.
Yeah, I'll say either 2-0 or 3-0 to Arsenal.
Right.
And then United versus Burnley. I think United win, but I don't think it'll be as easy as you think. I know it's at home at Old Trafford, but I just think that Burnley will just, considering what happened against Newcastle, they will want a repeat of it.
Right.
So I think they'll just be very defensive and hard to break down.
Okay.
And I think United win, but I think it'll be 2-1.
I was going to say 3-1. It's the sort of game I can see Burnley scoring first, and then United having to come back, like maybe 1-1 at half time, and United scoring 2 in the second half. Maybe from like a corner for Burnley or a penalty or something like that. I can see happening. But I think United, maybe not the first half, but the second half, like we've done so often this season, I think they'll be pretty confident and quite assured in the second half.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. Then you've got the final semi-final is of the FA Cup is Leicester versus Southampton. Leicester win that one, and I'm going to go comfortably and say 3-0.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I think Leicester have pretty much got a foot in the final, haven't they, really?
I think so, yeah. Moving on to
I think it makes sense to be City, Leicester in the final.
Yeah, I'll agree with you on that one. Moving on to the Monday's game, which is Leeds versus Liverpool in the Premier League. Because of what happened at the weekend, Leeds will go on confidence. However, I think Liverpool will have too much quality, but I think it'll only be there'll only be a couple of goals in it either way. I think Liverpool win maybe 2-0.
I'll say 3-0 to Liverpool.
Fair enough. Tuesday, because obviously with Chelsea playing in the FA Cup, they will play in Brighton in the Premier League on Tuesday. I think Chelsea got the. Yeah, I was going to say Chelsea got this one. I think it'd be similar to the Crystal Palace result, but I think 4-1 to Chelsea.
I'll say 4-0 just because Brighton just don't have much going forward, to be honest with you.
I could see it being like a corner Lewis Dunk kind of thing.
Maybe.
Then on Wednesday, you have Tottenham versus Southampton. I think Tottenham to win, but only by 1 or 2 goals. So I'm going to say 2-1.
I was going to say 2-1 Tottenham as well.
And then on Wednesday, Aston Villa versus Man City.
Are we just going through the next 2 weeks worth of games?
Oh, pretty much, because it is just genuinely.
Because then it's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah, I know.
It's just going to keep going.
Last week. No, last week. Well, we'll call it on Thursday because that is genuinely a week of Premier League. So, yeah, Villa versus Man City. I'm going to say... I'll say City to win, obviously. I just don't know by how many.
Right.
I'm going to say 3-1.
I'm going to say 2-2.
Ooh.
Again, I'm not sure whether it's because of wishful thinking, but I'm not sure if Grealish is back, is he?
I think he is.
So I think he'll want to make a statement against, the biggest team in England at the minute in terms of where they are. So I think doing it there, he could shock someone because he's been out for so long. He's had a lot of rest. City will have had to play that semi-final not many days before. So you never know. They could be a little bit groggy.
Yeah, I could see how it would happen. Now moving on to Thursday, which is the final game of the week. It is Leicester versus West Brom. I think Leicester win this one quite comfortably. I would even argue that they could go for glory here. I'm going to say 3-0, maybe even more, to be honest with you.
Right, okay. I don't think that. I think West Brom will win 2-1. I think West Brom, because they're almost fighting for their lives, there's almost a little bit of hope that they can do something. And if they do win, who's their game they got to play before that? Because we looked at a game before, didn't we?
No,
I was just chatting out my ass. If they beat Leicester, then they'll go 18th. So, and then they'll only be 5 points away from Newcastle if Newcastle lose their game. So, I think West Brom might be able to do it, and because of West Ham beating Leicester as well, and West Brom coming off of that, I think they'll go into it in good form, and I think Leicester will slip up yet again, and it will give West Ham an opportunity to go ahead of them.
Yeah, I just think that Leicester will just have that little bit of quality, and I think with coming off the back of the FA Cup semi-finals, hopefully then getting the win. I know we predicted it, but I think they'll just have a little bit too much quality for West Brom, and I think it will just be a case of them reasserting the dominance in the league. I know they're not top of the league, but reasserting where they are in the league.
Right. Fair enough.
So moving on from that.
God, that dragged, didn't it?
Yeah.
That went for ages.
Yeah. So moving on from that, we have the North versus South. Dun dun dun. All Stars team game thingy, Bob. Whatever you call it. I will be doing the North team. I will be taking suggestions from you, more because I will forget about players, and I hope I will be doing the same to you as well.
Right. Okay. Fair enough.
I'm just going for a simple 4-3-3 formation. I'm not doing nothing more, really.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
So the rules are, we've stated this before we started. At least one player from each team in the divide. I will put up on the screen now who is in which bracket. On my side will be the North teams, and on Declan's side will be
defense.
And on Declan's side will be the South team. So, do you know which one? Do you want to go first, or shall I go first?
I don't mind.
Oh well, let's go. All right then. You go first then. So this is the South team now.
Right. Okay. Crap. Okay. All right. So. Oh. All right. So I'm starting. I'll go 4-3-3 as well. I'm going to start with. Oh no! It's between two. I'll start with Crystal Palace, and I'll go with Gaeta in goal. It was between him and Martinez at Villa, but I think Villa offer more in the midfield and going forward and in defence. So I think it would make more sense to go for a team like Palace that don't offer much else anywhere else. So I think, Guaita, maybe not as much this season, but last season especially, looked very good and then still is a quality keeper. If I'm looking down here.
Yeah.
Jesus. I'm looking down here because my phone is there, or I could just put it here. So I think there, you might have to fill just for a minute, just because I'm trying to think in my head. in the positions. I'm trying to picture who plays where.
Yeah, it is. I'll admit, this is a fantasy thing. I don't think the Premier League are going to do this anytime soon because it is, as you see it in America a lot. But then that's because they have the franchises and the two different conferences and things like that. You know, you have the NBA All-Stars games, the MLS All-Star games, and then you have the Pro Bowl, which is the NFL. You know, they're conference, two different sides of it's even the two different sides of the states coming together and playing a game to show who's best. I think it's only fair. I think it's only fair that the Premier League gets it.
Yeah, definitely. But I mean, you've got it easy. You've got loads of quality teams. I'm struggling. I think I'll go Brighton next in terms of right backs, and I think I'll go Lamptey. I think he.
Oh yeah. I forgot to say no injuries, but we're going off current form.
Yeah,
or the form they were in before the injury.
Yeah, I think he's one of the standout players this season. And again, like with Palace, there's only really a handful of players I could have picked. And when I've got other teams in this lineup that have stronger attacks, I need to sort of fill out my defence a lot more.
And that's
right, again, I'm going to eliminate one of the weaker sides. I'm going to put Kyle Bartley at centre-back just because it just makes the most sense. And I don't have many option. I have a lot of option in terms of good quality centre-backs, but I need those teams for the midfield especially. So I think, so what have I got? Guaita, Lamptey, Bartley. And then the other centre-back, I think I'm going to go with Bednarek at Southampton. Oh, God. Who have I used? I've used Southampton, West Brom, Brighton and Palace. God. Oh, I forgot I had Tottenham. Just completely missed that.
And this is
Go on, sorry.
And this is why I chose you have to pick one team, at least one player from each team, because I've separated it into 10 each, so there's only one position that you can double up with for teams, which makes it even better.
Yeah, but I don't want to do that now.
I know.
So I still need my left back now, don't I? So I got Carl Bartley, and then I got Bednarek. My left. This sounds like a terrible team, but my left back. Oh, this is so hard. I'll go with. This is where I think I'll double up. I'll go with Reguilon.
You haven't doubled up though.
No, but I mean.
Oh right,
Tottenham will be the team where I double up on.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think I'll go him left back just because I was going to pick Target at Aston Villa, who I think is solid, but I think Reguilon is probably one of the best left backs in the league at the minute. So I think that's fair. Going into the midfield, this is where I'm struggling. I think I will go with who's that Fulham one?
Anguissa,
thank you for that. I think I'll go with Anguissa. I'll go with Havertz. Right, what else have I got? And I think I'll also go with Thomas Souček. And then up front, I'll go with Kane in the middle. I'll go with... Oh, wait. Oh, no, I've used Lamptey. Kane in the middle. I'll go with... Oh. Wait, who else have I got? I'll go with Grealish on the left, and Aubameyang's just going to be a right winger. Doesn't matter, does it? So I'll go with that. Sorry, that took me a while because I was thinking about each one and eliminating the teams. Yeah. So I'll just go through that again. So I've got Guaita goalkeeper. I've got Lamptey right back. I've got Bartley and Bednarek centre backs. I've got Reguilon at left back. I've got Anguissa and Bednarek, Anguissa and Souček as my holding midfielders. I've got Havertz in the cam role. Left wing, I've got Grealish. Right wing, I've got Aubameyang. And up front, I've got Harry Kane.
Yes. That is apart from the defence, it's an all right side.
I think it's okay. I mean,
It's the to be honest with you, it's the best. If you look at it this way, it's the best you could do.
I needed a good midfield because if I'd have used in defence, if I'd have used Thiago Silva, that would have eliminated Kai Havertz, and then I would have had to rely on other teams like Southampton and stuff for players going forward. And I think I was thinking Thiago Silva, and I was thinking maybe like Gabriel. So or maybe even Craig Dawson. I was potentially thinking of, but I know going forward, I needed the attackers and midfielders more for the bigger teams.
Yeah.
I don't think there's many people I particularly missed out in terms of obvious picks, is there?
No, because obviously all the picks you've made make sense because you are looking to. You're not. There are plenty of players you could have picked, but then you're eliminating other potential players to have.
Yeah, but I think I maybe could have, or maybe I could have doubled up on Chelsea or maybe doubled up on Arsenal. But I think Tottenham, the two players I picked for Tottenham, other than maybe Son, are, but in terms of left wingers that I had the choice of picking, there was a lot.
Yeah.
So I think Grealish and Aubameyang as my wingers, I'll take that. Happy days. And Kane up front, you can't go wrong with Harry Kane.
No. So this is the North now. This is going to be interesting. This. So in goal,
you got it easy. What are you on about? You got it so easy.
So in goal, I'm going to go. Should I go Nick Pope? See, I'm debating whether to go Nick Pope or Aaron Ramsdale. Aaron Ramsdale just to get it out of the way.
No, you can't go with Ramsdale. He's awful.
Just to get him out of the way.
Nah, I think Pope's the sensible. Because really going forward for Burnley, who have you got? I know it's the same with Sheffield United. But
McNeil.
Yeah, but then you eliminated so many left.
Yeah.
People.
Yeah,
you might have to take a hit for the team further up the field with.
Yeah, true.
Unless you do put Ramsdale in, but then again, I mean, either team is quite hard to put a player.
That's the thing. That's the thing.
Unless you go in defence. I mean, Burnley, you've got Tarkowski, you've got Ben Mee.
Yes, I'm gonna go Aaron Ramsdale. I'm gonna go Aaron Ramsdale in there. I know it's not the best option, but for all the teams, I need someone in net.
Yeah.
And out of all the other options for the other teams, I can't really put a Sheffield United player above everybody else. So it has to be Ramsdale.
That's fair.
And then in right back, do I go Kyle Walker this early? Or James Justin?
I wasn't thinking of either of them. I think James Justin's a good shout, but I think my two that I was thinking is potentially Luke Ayling to get the leads out of the way, unless you were looking higher up, or Wolves with Semedo.
Oh, Semedo's a good shout, especially recently.
Am I just picking your team for you?
Yeah, why not? Yeah, I think I'll go Semedo on that one. Only because, like you said, there are other options for Leeds going forward.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Centre back pairing being Tarkowski and.
Wait, who have you got left? So you used Wolves, you've used Sheffield, and you've just used Burnley.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
I'd say a good. Yeah.
I was good. So centre back, I was gonna say either Van Dijk or Ruben Diaz, or maybe even John Stones.
Good shout. I was thinking sort of outside the box. I was thinking Liam Cooper, or I was thinking Lascelles.
Jamal Lascelles is a good shout for filling the team.
but then I suppose you have got the double up. So I think a City player probably is wise if you want to double up with them.
Yeah, I think I'll double up and I'll go with John Stones.
Fair play.
Left back, Luke Shaw.
Good shout.
Then in midfield, Calvin Phillips.
Fair. You got a lot of choice in midfield.
I know, that's my issue.
No choice in midfield.
James Maddison.
Right, okay. So who have you got left? You've still got a double up, but then you've still got Liverpool, Everton, Newcastle, and then someone else to double up.
Yeah. And then
Right, okay.
to get Newcastle, I know he's on Joe Willock. No. Sean Longstaff. Or is it Matty Longstaff? I can't remember the flipping...
Sean's the one that's been in there for a long time.
Yeah.
Matty's the younger one that's scored against United.
It might, yeah. Actually, I think I might go Willock, Joe Willock. Yeah, I'm going to go Joe Willock.
Wow. I would have picked an attacker for that, for Newcastle. I'd have picked Maxim or even Wilson.
But then if you look at the teams that I've got left...
Yeah, but who have you got up front? The best striker you've got up front to choose is Aguero or Calvert-Lewin, probably.
And I'm going to go with Calvert-Lewin. Because I'm going to go on the... Who have I got left then?
Well, you've got a double up and you've got Liverpool left.
So I'm going to go Salah on the right, Sterling on the left.
Sterling on the left. What fucking surprise that is.
So to run through again, Aaron Ramsdale in net. Right back, Nelson Semedo. I nearly forgot then. Tarkowski and John Stones at centre back. Left back, Luke Shaw. Calvin Phillips as my holding midfielder. Maddison and Willock to just be free in that little pocket.
Right.
Right wing, Salah. Striker, Calvert-Lewin. Left wing, Raheem Sterling.
It's a good team.
A lot better than yours.
I don't know about that.
Well, because of the parameters. Is that the right word? It isn't it? Yeah. Of you have to choose. You have to select one player from each team.
Dortmund City's now 1-1, so City are going through as it stands.
With the idea of you have to choose at least one player. You have to choose one player from each team.
Yeah,
makes it a lot harder.
Definitely.
So I think both teams are. They're not, they're not ideal for most people, but it's just what
I think my team all round is better than yours.
Yeah, mine's more.
You were too keen to get to the strikers.
Yeah, I'll admit, I was. Yeah, but overall, both teams are quite strong, in both ways.
Yeah. I think you wasted some players.
Yes,
I think you could have doubled up on Man United. And you could have chosen Bruno Fernandes instead of Willock.
I could have.
But then who do you put Newcastle? Then you could have said instead of Sterling, you could have had Maxim, or you could have kept Sterling and then doubled up, or used.
See, this is the thing.
You could use Newcastle, double up on United, have Bruno Fernandes at cam, take out Matty Willock, put Lascelles at centre back instead of Stones, and then have Sterling still at left wing.
Yeah,
and I think that's a better team, though.
Well, I'm sticking with mine.
Fair enough.
I think it's it's an attacking minded team.
My decision just then was way better than what you chose.
No, I was not.
Yeah, how's that not a better team? Take out John Stones, put in Lascelles, take out Matty Willock, and put in Bruno Fernandes. How is that not a good team?
Because,
How's that not better? That's so much better.
Because I said so.
Brilliant. Okay. You don't want to admit defeat, is that it?
I didn't. What I never said I was defeated, did I? So that's our teams. Make sure you let us know your teams in the comments, whether you're North or Team South, and let us know your teams and what you would pick. The same rules apply. You have to pick one player from each team. It can be any position, but it has to be one player. You can only double up on one team. I think. And
Are we not doing the joint teams?
We could do the joint team. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it, man. This is the. Let's do it, man. Yeah, this is the joint Premier League All-Star team. We're going with the same.
Best potential team that we could have picked from the Premier League ever.
Well, this season.
No, ever.
Right.
So the best goalkeeper to ever play in the Premier League, is it Aaron Ramsdale or is it Gaeta?
Vincent Gaeta.
Yeah, I mean, Aaron Ramsdale last season looked quality, and I thought a good signing when Henderson left was Ramsdale, but it's just been exposed, hasn't he? He just looks. Yeah. It just looks a bit bad because the team's bad. But I mean, Gaeta is the player you'd pick out of those two.
Yeah.
So we're just going to go through every position and just pick every one of my players. Is that what we're doing?
Right. Okay. Okay. Right back. Well, so Tariq Lamptey or Nelson Semedo.
I think Nelson Semedo.
Okay. Well,
I'm picking this as well.
I
picked my team, picked half of your team, and now I'm picking this team.
You were there as an advisor for my team, though, so...
You didn't even advise mine.
Well...
You said you were going to, and then I just started talking and you didn't say anything.
Yeah, you're right. I didn't. You're right. But you were just in your flow. I didn't want to interrupt it.
Fair enough.
Centre backs, should I say.
So I had Bartley and Bednarek. You had Van Dijk and Stones.
No.
Tarkowski and Stones.
Yeah,
sorry.
I don't think it'd be Kyle Bartley.
No, I think your two get it.
I was gonna say maybe Bednarek though. Over Tarkowski, no?
I think Tarkowski is a better defender than Bednarek.
Fair enough.
I was just struggling to pick position, so I had to pick some Southampton player.
Well, and that's why I was. I wasn't necessarily struggling. It was just I had to make sacrifices to fit the players in.
Yeah.
It is that when you get the parameters is what the word is of one. You have to pick one player from each team. It does get to you because then it's like, oh, I need to include this team, this team. Otherwise, there's not. I can't. So it's like picking the best player that you've got in a position that you've got better players elsewhere.
I like how I said my team's way better than yours, and the whole defence is just going to be your team. Because out of Shaw and Reguilon, I mean, you pick Shaw, don't you?
Especially based off, recent form.
Mm-hmm.
I know Reguilon's still been good anyway, but just the way that Luke Shaw's come back as well.
Definitely.
Then in midfield, so you've either got Calvin Phillips, James Maddison, or Joe Willock, or
Joe Willock ain't touching
Thomas Souček, Anguissa, and Havertz.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say keep Havertz in there.
Yeah.
I'm also gonna say keep Souček in there.
Right. Keep going.
And I'm gonna say
keep Anguissa in there as well.
Put Calvin Phillips in there, or
James Calvin Phillips.
or James Maddison. Probably more James Maddison actually.
So Souček's who's a box to box, and then you got two attacking midfielders. So our defense is just going to get exposed.
Yeah,
brilliant.
It's an all-star game. It's supposed to be a
Okay.
It's supposed to be a good watch.
All right. I suppose James Maddison is one of the young English talents. Souček is one of the standout midfielders, and Kai Havertz on one of the biggest transfers. So I guess that makes the most sense. Sure, why not? With Tarkowski playing in this game and Aaron Ramsdale as well. Brilliant.
No, Aaron Ramsdale's not playing. It's Gaeta.
Oh, yes. Wait, he's still Gaeta. What's he done? It's supposed to be an all-star game. Imagine if this team turned up for an all-star game to play like a La Liga or a Serie A. They'd get dick. It's horrible.
Going up front, see left wing, you've got either Jack Grealish or Raheem Sterling.
Ooh.
That's a tough one, that.
I think it'd be more enjoyable in an all-star game to watch Jack Grealish.
I was gonna say Jack Grealish. I was gonna say Jack Grealish myself.
Man City are winning 2-1 now, so it looks like they're through.
No, they don't know yet.
I mean, there's 15 minutes left, and Dortmund have got to score 2. So,
striker, it's either Harry Kane or Dominic Calvert-Lewin. It's got to be Harry Kane.
Yeah.
Right wing, you've got Aubameyang
Salah or
Aubameyang. I would choose Salah.
Yeah.
It's a very
How many have you
interesting.
got? 4, 5, 6. You got 6. I got 5.
So it's not too. So it's not too bad.
No, I thought you got way more than I thought.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
No, my team would still beat yours, but you know.
Right. Okay. Okay. But if anybody's watching and works the Premier League,
if anybody's watching, you could have just ended it there. If anybody's watching,
wow.
If anybody's watching, if your nana's watching, hi.
Oh. But
even she stopped commenting after the first few weeks.
Wow.
She did.
She did, I know. The pain.
Oh, brilliant.
But you've seen our teams, you've seen our joint team. Let us know in the comments what you think. Let us know if you're probably not going to agree. It don't really make a difference.
We don't care, to be honest.
We just want that interaction.
Yeah. Just to like anything.
Yeah. Don't forget. I think that'll be do for today's episode. It's been a little bit of a interesting one.
Long one.
Yeah. We Declan still hasn't come up for a tier list on me yet.
All right, sorry.
So we'll see.
I'll come up with one next week. A unique one. No one's ever heard of it.
Right. Okay. You heard it here first. So if he doesn't,
no one's watching. Don't worry about it. I can do a completely ununique one. No one will know.
Whoa. Well, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like the video, comment down below what you'd like to see on the channel, who you'd like to get on. Don't forget to comment your teams in the north-south team all-star game. Leave notifications on so you're notified of every video. I think that's it. I know, again, I'm going to ask you every time. Anything to add?
I never say anything. I never have anything to say.
I know.
So I thought I would give you nothing to say. So,
right.
You know.
Fair enough. Well, that has been us for today, and we will see you guys next week for next week's podcast. Goodbye.
See you next week for next week's podcast that's happening next week. Bye.